The PM has no problem with a bulletproof vehicle in the free zone. Tonight you'll hear his comments. Plus, he has some consoling words for Superintendent Gamboa, whose visa was revoked. And the PM said Jose Mai had a bad back, and not even his own ministers would repeat that story. How does he feel about being publicly mocked? He told us it's a free country. Plus, is your tap water safe? The Statistical Institute of Belize said it might have E. coli bacteria. Tonight, BWS is saying, get out of here with that. Also, an American airline flight to Salvador had to make an emergency landing in Belize today, and we'll tell you why. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight, Wednesday, November 26th, 2025. Good evening. With your news, I'm Indra Craig.
This newscast is brought to you by Cellular World, your authorized Samsung distributor.
Belize, it's finally here. Cellular World's biggest sale of the year. Black Week has arrived and the deals are massive. Transform your entertainment with Samsung Smart TVs starting at only $379. Your favorite smartphones now start at only $99. Update your tech or keep the kids learning with tablets starting at just $99. Turn up the volume with the best JBL products starting for only $39. Need power to work, school, or gaming? Computers now as low as $549. And set up your workplace right with printers, monitors, and office chairs from only $169. Plus, don't miss huge discounts on Samsung Smart appliances. The deals for your home that you don't want to miss. This Black Week, the savings are bigger than ever. Visit any of our location or reach us online at 615-5141.
You're up.
These charter means aren't
We're navigating along the coastline.
This morning, the 2023.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm Sheree Kelsel, and here's what's ahead for you on 7 News Tonight.
We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight. Good evening. With your news, I'm Indra Craig.
Please, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Belize's Blue Bond is more than a financial deal. It's a game changer. Built on homegrown solutions, it has redefined Belize's global profile, proving that conservation and economic prosperity can go hand in hand. Through the Blue Bond, Belize reduced its debt by 12%, unlocked $360 million for financial recovery, and secured $400 million in debt servicing savings over 20 years, turning crisis into opportunity.
The Blue Bond Agreement is really the culmination of almost a year-long effort in restructuring our debt. This transaction put us on a map in the realm of conservation, in the realm of finance, but in terms of a leader, not a follower. We are in the process of leveraging that up in the sense that, yes, there's $8 million a year that we've committed to supporting the ocean or marine conservation, but we're now coupling that with the project finance for permanence. So you have to look at ways that enable people to not only survive, but to prosper, while at the same time ensuring that there is a protected environment.
Belize has set the standard for the world, leading in conservation finance, sustainable development, and responsible economic growth. And this is just the beginning. Belize's Blue Bond is more than a financial success. It's a blueprint for a sustainable, prosperous future. Let's continue leading the way.
The journey towards owning a home was a family decision as we needed stability and security. And it was a financial investment that we would have for our family's legacy. Getting a home loan from Atlantic Bank was very easy. The officers there were able to walk you through the process and you were able to ask questions. Moving into our home for the first time was a blessed and happy experience. I remember turning the key for the first time, and the family was so excited to see our new home where we'd be making new memories in.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Are you still circling around the city, searching high and low for a parking spot? Stop wasting time, energy, and, most importantly, costly fuel. Bring your ride to the Downtown Plaza parking lot and park your baby in a safe, dedicated space. No need to risk parking on the streets where your baby can be scratched, dented, or bumped. Downtown Plaza parking lot offers safe, easy, and convenient parking right in the heart of the city. Just head to Albert Street, make a right turn on Bishop Street, and you are there in a secure, worry-free environment. Imagine the peace of mind knowing your car is in a safe spot while you enjoy your day. So, don't delay. Park with confidence at the Downtown Plaza parking lot, where convenience meets safety and peace of mind is guaranteed.
In the heart of Belize, a battle is being waged, not with weapons, but with choices. When waste is disposed of in unauthorized locations, in our forests, drains, and waterways, along our highways, and in vacant lots, this is illegal dumping. The consequences reach far beyond what we see. Toxic chemicals seep into our groundwater, threatening our drinking water. Disease-carrying mosquitoes breed in abandoned tires, and wildlife mistake our waste for food. For over a decade, the Department of Environment has worked tirelessly to clean up these sites. But they can't do it alone. They need your help. And now, taking action is easier than ever. Download the ArcGIS Survey 123 app to your phone. You can report illegal dump sites. The app records the location, allows you to add photos. Simply open the app, allow location access, fill in basic details about the site, add a photo, and submit. Your report helps us protect our communities and natural resources. Every report matters. Every action counts. Stand proud in protecting our nation. Our Belize, our responsibility. Bini.
On August 30th, 2023, the governor of the Central Bank of Belize, UDP, appointed Kareem Michael, acting as registrar of credit unions, appointed one of his close colleagues as administrator of St. Francis Xavier Credit Union. What was described as an interim measure has now dragged on for over 2 years with no end in sight. So the question is simple. Why is the government allowing Mr. Michael and the central bank to use heavy-handed tactics against the credit union movement?
The roads of Belize connect us all. Riders, drivers, families, friends. Every day begins with a little routine and the confidence that life's journeys are protected. From school drop-off through the daily grind and everything in between, each with different roads ahead, yet one common goal: to arrive safely. Atlantic Insurance stands with Belize's riders and motorists with affordable protection, support, and peace of mind for the journey ahead. For the roads we share and the lives we protect, Atlantic Insurance is by your side, insuring you from life's unexpected. Atlantic Insurance, insuring you from life's unexpected.
Wake up to positivity and inspiration. It's a fresh and diverse twist on your mornings. Tune in to Sun Up on 7 every weekday morning at 6:30 a.m. right here on your nation station, Channel 7. It's the morning show you don't want to miss.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Last night we told you about the temporary permit that the Customs Department issued for a bulletproof vehicle in the free zone. That means it came in duty-free, and it raises questions about who qualifies for this and about the state of crime in the north when prominent free zone figures have to use bulletproof vehicles. But speaking today at the airport, the Prime Minister had a more positive spin. He said that bulletproof vehicles aren't illegal in Belize, and while he is the Minister of Finance in charge of Customs, he said we'd have to ask them.
Sir, what do you think of the bulletproof vehicle that was found in a free zone, and is this an indication of the risk level in that area?
Well, I don't know if you could put it from that end about the reef. But yes, I think that Savella, that's his name. I think they tried to shoot him. I think was it in September, and probably he wants to see how he can protect himself. Maybe just a precaution, as far as I can tell.
But is this a normal thing that's usually approved by Customs, a bulletproof vehicle?
Well, I think you need to speak with the Customs Department and also the Attorney General's office. But I will just tell you this part, and I don't want to go back and forth. From what I'm told, there is no law that prevents anyone from bringing in a bulletproof vehicle. There are several, as I'm told, there are several organizations, businesses, and people that have these vehicles to protect themselves, from like in the banks, for instance, and there have been no issue.
Having combined Home Affairs with Enterprise now, is there any instructions you've given to the new minister to try and quell what's happening in that area?
Well, that's the very reason why we put Enterprise with the police, so that we hope that then the police can play a more active role at the zone to be able to ensure that we can have peace and stability in the zone. The Corozal Free Zone is a very important area that creates a lot of employment. We employ about 1,500 Belizeans. And for us, it's important to be able to protect them and that everybody can feel safe. I don't think we're there that people don't feel safe, but we just want to take that extra precaution.
We also asked him about Superintendent Aaron Gamboa's visa revocation. As we told you last Saturday, Gamboa went to the airport with his wife but was unable to leave the country because his visa had been pulled. But the PM said he didn't know about it when we spoke to him at the PGIA today. And he hadn't heard of any other high-profile revocations.
I've not heard about that. I didn't even know that they were going to revoke Mr. Gamboa's visa. But if you don't want details, I think you need to speak with the U.S. Embassy. I have no idea why they did that.
Is it concerning for you, though, considering his post in the police department?
Of course it is. Of course it is. But we don't know. And I was out. And I think that if the U.S. Embassy, if they think it's something very serious, I think they will bring it to my attention. And if they bring it to my attention, then I will act. The United States, when they give you a visa, it is they give you the permission to visit their country. And they have the right to be able to revoke their visas at any time. And the United States is not the only country to visit in the world.
But while he hadn't heard about the revocation, surely he must have seen the public's reaction to the narrative for former Minister Mai's bad back. Let's just say those on social media are taking it with truckloads of salt. But Presenter didn't blink on his bad back fable. He says that's what democracy is about.
I'm sure you've seen that that reasoning has been mocked widely on social media. A lot of people think it's a cover story. What do you think of the public's reaction to this?
People mock everything. And I think if you want to know more details, maybe you should speak with former Minister Mai.
He was absent from the House of Representatives meeting.
Sister B. Demogana, who's meeting for about 5 years, And you were never making an issue, so you never asked me what I think about it.
Yeah, but don't you think that the public...
Any other question? I don't think I
It's
caught
just
more.
the public's perception, though.
That's okay. That's okay. That's the people's perception. We believe in a democracy. People can think differently, and that's okay.
Two of your...
In a communist state or whatever, no, so.
We asked two of your ministers about this, about the narrative, and they didn't seem to be supportive of it.
That's their right.
And hours before the PM's flight landed in Belize, an American Airlines flight destined for El Salvador had to make an emergency landing at the PGIA. According to authorities, the call was made out of precaution after one of the engines suffered a failure. Courtney Menzies was at the airport and has the details.
Just after 11 o'clock today, the PGIA received a distress call from AAL 327 aboard an American Airlines Boeing 737-800 flight from Miami to El Salvador. The airplane was 125 miles east of Belize when the captain declared a full emergency based on an engine problem and requested permission to make an emergency landing in Belize. Emergency teams including rescue, fire, and ambulance were mobilized, but none of it was needed because the distress call was made out of what we are told was an abundance of precaution. It landed on the tarmac at 11:30 with no incident or injuries. But what of the 177 passengers on board? Well, up until this evening, they were still at the PGIA, awaiting another American Airlines flight to arrive to take them to their destination. Authorities are now investigating the possible engine malfunction, while the aircraft remains grounded at the PGIA. Courtney Menzies, 7 News.
Information used in that story came from the Department of Civil Aviation. Is your tap water safe? Well, today health authorities and BWS scrambled to set the record straight after a Love FM news article which stated that Belize's drinking water was contaminated with E. coli bacteria. They got that information from the Statistical Institute of Belize, which was referring to an early finding of the Multiple Indicator Cluster Survey, or MICS. Using UNICEF standards, that report found widespread detection of E. coli, affecting both rural and urban households. Well, today, BWS and the Ministry of Health rejected that finding. BWS says, quote, "It is clear that the sampling and testing procedures used in this study did not follow internationally recognized water quality testing standards. The approach used for sample collection, handling, and testing was not designed to support conclusions about national water quality or about specific utilities such as BWS. Crucially, none of the findings cited in the report originated, that is, from BWS's treatment or distribution systems. BWS adds that its water quality is tested daily across all service areas using internationally recognized methods. The Ministry of Health and Wellness also checks BWS water monthly and issued its own release saying comprehensive data collected by the ministry from multiple sites over time consistently demonstrate that potable water remains safe for consumption. The release also notes that the ministry performs routine testing for contaminations, including E. coli, annually. Approximately 4,000 water samples from across the country are processed. A joint press conference will also be held tomorrow, basically to reinforce the above. And since the report referred to drinking water, we also asked the largest producer of bottled water, Boyne & Boyne, for comment. They said they, quote, found the vagueness in the interview disappointing. Crystal water goes through strict purification, sterilization, and testing that meet international standards. After the break, we'll show you the Coast Guard's man that went to court today for stabbing his partner, a police constable. And we'll have a comprehensive look at issues affecting the tourism sector. Don't go away.
It's an massive season with massive deals and rewards at Penny's. From now through December 31st, earn double B-Bucks on store-wide purchasing every Saturday. That's right, 2 times the B-Bucks, which means 2 times the cash back when shopping at Penny's. Plus, get even more rewards with B-Bucks Builders on home goods, tiles, appliances, paints, and lights. And don't forget, there's also massive deals and discounts on tiles and the best brands and paints like Benjamin Moore and BH. Rewards, deals, V-Bucks. You can get it all this massive season. Only at Pennies. Quality and savings.
Enhanced service and faster sickness benefit claim processing are at your fingertips with SSB's healthcare feature accessible via the My Social Security self-service portal. Your convenience during illness is key. Now your doctor can certify your period of illness and your employer can confirm your employment details digitally, eliminating the need to visit our office. But wait, it gets better. You can also review the medical certificate provided by your doctor in your My Social Security account, along with real-time processing updates, keeping you informed. To ensure a smooth process, always review your electronic medical certificate before you hit submit. Upon submission, your employer is notified via email of your claim submitted to SSB and must respond within 48 hours for your claim to be automatically processed. For more information, check out our guides on our website and YouTube pages. Social Security at your fingertips.
One of the reasons I applied for a credit card at Atlantic Bank was because I travel a lot. I'm always going here and there and everywhere, and having that card made my life so much easier. I could literally charge everything. I had no issues. I don't have to worry about carrying money. And that has been one of the most effective points. Using my Atlantic Bank credit card has improved my life drastically. I learned to budget properly, the online service that it gives, the features that it has, and also knowing that when I'm shopping online, it has a protective feature for it. Having an Atlantic Bank credit card, especially having two sons that are always wanting something. They want to shop here and they want to shop there. The good part about it is I get to look at Atlantic online to see where my spending is and to make sure I'm staying in budget.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
On August 30th, 2023, the governor of the Central Bank of Belize, UDP, appointed Kareem Michael, acting as registrar of credit unions, appointed one of his close colleagues as administrator of St. Francis Xavier Credit Union. What was described as an interim measure has now dragged on for over 2 years with no end in sight. So the question is simple. Why is the government allowing Mr. Michael and the central bank to use heavy-handed tactics against the credit union movement?
Honorable Tracy Teger-Panton and the UDP have always stood shoulder to shoulder with our public officers. They are the backbone of how any government delivers its obligations to the people of Belize. That is why we fully support any bill for additional sums of money for our hardworking, well-deserving public officers and teachers. But we cannot support any bill for additional sums of money that hides other expenditures under the radar, disguised as rewards for those who serve our nation. Let's not be fooled by propaganda. Respecting our public officers means transparency, accountability, and ensuring every dollar goes where it belongs. Honorable Tracy Teger-Panton and the UDP stand ready to support any bill for additional sums of money directed solely to our public officers and teachers because they deserve respect, not reckless spending. Respect Belize. Respect public officers. Respect teachers. Reject reckless spending. Demand transparency.
Every day, Belizeans use their creativity to bring ideas to life in the form of music, art, inventions, designs, and brands. These creations of the mind not only express who we are, but also shape the future of our communities and our country.
Intellectual property, or IP, is about protecting your creative ideas. At the Belize Intellectual Property Office, we administer 4 main types of IP protection. Patents that protect inventions, new machines, and new processes. Copyright, which protects works like art, music, writings, and movies, trademarks that offer protection for business names, logos, and slogans, and industrial designs that protect the aesthetic appearance of a product. Applying to register your IP with Bellipo gives you legal protection over what you created. This means that once registered, no one can copy or use your idea without your permission. Registering helps innovators like yourself thrive and supports fair competition. Your protection starts from the day you file your application. While your certificate is being examined and published, your rights are already in effect.
Using someone else's design, logo, or content without permission isn't just unfair, it's against the law. Even international IP are protected in Belize and vice versa.
Enforcing your rights helps protect your work if someone copies or misuses it. You can enforce your rights by sending written warnings, taking legal action, or even asking customs to stop the importation of fake products. Intellectual property protects Belizean creativity and innovation. Learn more about IP with Bellipo and protect your creations.
They're not just Christmas season, they're $1 million season. Because sometimes the biggest blessing come in the shape of a little ticket. This Christmas, the best gift could just be a ticket for $1 million. The $1 million jackpot draws December 20th. Buy your ticket now at any certified Bolito seller on the For We Bolito app or at forwebolito.bz. Go buy your ticket today for a chance to make your Christmas season extra special.
This Christmas, get into the joy with Uno. Imagine winning a shiny motorcycle, a brand new TV, a brand new fan, or grocery coupons to make your holiday shopping easier. The surprises keep coming. All you have to do is visit Uno, and for every $25 on fuel, you'll get a coupon. Fill out and participate. Get 1 coupon for each quart of Uno lubricants or 2 for a gallon. Visit your nearest Uno gas station today. Fill your tank and drive into Christmas cheer with Uno. Uno gas stations.
Wake up to positivity and inspiration. It's a fresh and diverse twist on your mornings. Tune in to Sun Up on 7 every weekday morning at 6:30 a.m. right here on your nation station, Channel 7. It's the morning show you don't want to miss.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Tonight, a Coast Guardsman accused of trying to kill his estranged common-law wife has been remanded to prison. Brian Chiak was arraigned today for attempted murder and use of deadly means of harm against Police Constable Jessica Powell. It happened on Monday in Belize City, where they had a dispute over money. She told police that Chiak got home drunk at 3:30 a.m. and ordered her to make a money transfer of $4,000 that she had been saving for him. He threatened to stab her, and that's when she locked herself in a room, but he kicked the door open and forced her to make that transfer. Even after she did that, he still stabbed her multiple times, 4 times to her left arm and 2 to her right foot. When police arrived at the house, she was unconscious from the loss of blood. In court, no plea was taken from Chiak, and due to the nature of the offenses, bail was denied, and he was remanded to the Belize Central Prison until January 12, 2026. Also in court today was another man accused of an even more serious domestic offense, 35-year-old Frederick Wagner, who was arraigned earlier this month for the attempted murder of his common-law wife. 61-year-old Dawn Bernard was briefly removed from the Belize Central Prison as police continue their investigation into Bernard's death. Wagner, who remains on remand until his next court date on January 5, 2026, was escorted early Tuesday morning from the prison to the gender-based violence unit in Belize City. Officers took him to be questioned on the circumstances surrounding Bernard's death. By 1 p.m., Wagner was returned to the Belize City Magistrates Court and taken back to the Belize Central Prison, where he will remain while investigators await post-mortem findings and continue gathering evidence. Police have indicated that upgraded charges are expected. The case stems from a horrifying incident on the night of November 10, 2025. After 8 p.m., officers patrolling Lakeview Street encountered Bernard emerging from a residence with severe burns to her body. She claimed he had set her on fire using alcohol. She died a week later. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving in the U.S., and in Belize that usually denotes the start of the tourism high season, when, as they say, the winter birds fly south. And to coincide with that, the Belize Tourism Board today held a rare press event to provide the media with an overview on its tourism performance so far for 2025. BTB Director Evan Tillett says that despite uncertainty in the U.S., where the supermajority of our visitors come from, through to October, this year's arrival figures are holding up well compared to a record 2024.
From January to October in 2025, we are at a total of 448,188 overnight guests, compared to last year, which was 446,563. That is a total of 1,625 visitors above 2024, and that provides us with a 0.4% above 2024, which is our new benchmark year. So prior to that, 2019 was the new benchmark year at total of 503,000. That's for the complete year, as well as 2024 we had a total of 547,000. So our numbers are showing that we're pretty much on par with 2024, and that's giving all of the issues that we have seen in the geopolitical space, where you have wars, trade wars, the U.S. immigration policy, and so we have remained neck to neck with 2024.
Keeping arrivals up means constantly increasing airlift to Belize. That means the number of airlines flying here from international airports. Tillett provided an overview of airlift and cruise arrivals.
In terms of our airlines hub, the top 5 are Houston, Miami, Dallas, Atlanta, and Los Angeles, with Houston being our largest hub. That represents 112 passengers, 112,754 passengers in 2025. Now, it's important to note that we have a lot of airlift into our destination, and one of the key things that we do is to maintain a relationship with our airline partners, because it's critical that we get new flight routes into Belize, because it makes it easier for visitors to get to Belize, but we must work with our airline partners to ensure that they are making a profit and continue to fly to the destination. For 2025, we have an increase of 5.4% compared to 2024, We have a total of 82% of cruise passengers that come to Belize tend to disembark. The breakdown for the arrivals, you have Harvest Key and you have FSTV. For 2025, we had 48 calls at Harvest Key and a total of 517 passengers to Harvest Key. To FSTV, we have a total of 532,395 passengers, and that's with 195 calls. So total calls for 2025 represents 243 calls. We were lucky to get some ships that weren't on the schedule, and that's a result of the unfortunate hurricane that affected Jamaica. So to date, we have gotten, I believe, 2 ships, a Carnival and one from the Cunard line.
But what about the 8.6% drop in visits we saw for the month of September? Till it's stressed that external factors outside of their control contributed to this.
September traditionally is one of the slowest months, or the slowest months in the entire calendar, and that has been traditionally. But I think there's also some effect in terms of the U.S. immigration posture policy that affects the travel back and forth. Some people don't want to travel because they don't know if they'll be able to get back into the U.S. So that definitely had an effect.
Vacation is not just, the cost of a vacation does not only include the cost of a hotel. There's also the cost of travel. And so when the airlines, in my opinion, don't cooperate with the destination in terms of lowering the costs in the shoulder seasons, then it's going to be a challenge for folks that are already in, most of them coming from a market that's facing economic uncertainty or uncertainties. And so when you go through the shoulder months with airline rates that are still upwards of $650, $700, $800 US round trip, then that's going to always in itself pose a challenge. It then falls on the burden then falls on the shoulders of private sector, the hotels, the tour operators, etc., to push our prices down even more.
And to keep those seats filled on jets, it's all about maintaining marketing momentum. That means big money buys. How big? Till it says they have budgeted just under $20 million for marketing this year.
The bulk of the revenue that focuses on our marketing efforts definitely come from through the hotel tax. Typically, the marketing budget represents just a little bit under 50% of the entire budget, because we have a role to also invest in the product. Because yes, you market, but you also have to ensure that when the visitor gets here, that what we're marketing they can experience. And so that is also a role of the BTB. But marketing is definitely one of the key thing that we do at the BTB to market the destination on a whole, to talk about all of the assets that we have and to push the destination in order to continue to get overnight visitor. From the perspective of our marketing objective and our marketing strategy, we have different marketing agencies that represents us globally. We have representation in Europe, we have representation in LATAM, which is Mexico, Central America, and South America, and we do have in Canada and the US as well.
But millions spent on marketing can be undone by just one terrible event, like the murder of U.S. Dr. Gary Swank on San Pedro in June of 2019. That caused a massive wave of cancellations. And with the bullet tree murder of Canadian national Marty Anthorn 2 weeks ago, the industry is again bracing for possible fallout. When we asked the head table about this today, their response was that violence, whether targeting locals or foreigners, severely impacts our image as a tourist destination.
Any violent crime in Belize practically has the same impact. It's magnified a bit more, I believe, because that individual happens to be a citizen of a country that we are working to increase our traffic from. But I think overall, anytime we have anything that's violent that happens in the country, whether you're talking about a full-on murder or you're talking about gender violence, anything that's violent, it affects our ability to sell or market ourselves as a destination. Many travelers around the world choose where they want to go on vacation based on the social impacts that they view or how they view the country. And if they don't see us as a particularly peaceful society, then that will impact us in general.
Obviously, it affects us negatively. And I think if you remember the issue that we had in San Pedro when the doctor was killed, the numbers dropped, I think, immediately by maybe 20%. So any sort of negative matters or issues like that affects us gravely as an industry.
Tillett also discussed the slight drop they saw in seat capacity in 2024's airlift. He explained that despite this, and with the new addition of Spirit Airlines to Belize, they are estimating that next year they should see a bump in the number of airline seats coming into Belize.
And so in 2025, we currently have a total, we're connected to 23 cities, 7 countries, and we have now 14 airlines that are now serving our destination. And I think that speaks volume in terms of the work that we have done on the air development front, and we continue to do. Another important aspect in terms of this is to look at the seat count. When you look at the seat count for our destination, you will see that in 2024 versus 1 second. You'll see that in 2024, we had a total of 626,000 seats, airline seats coming into the destination. However, in 2025, we saw some softening. But even with that softening, there was still opportunity to continue to grow the tourism sector. The 2025, like I said, was a bit softer at 604,387. And this was driven primarily by American Airlines removing some capacity out of Miami and Charlotte. That affected us significantly. And they did it, in my opinion, to maximize their revenue from the routes that they have. But in 2026, will be a significant year in terms of airline seat capacity. And it should be the greatest capacity that we will ever have in airline seats coming into Belize. And we're estimating that we will have 651,529 airline seats coming into Belize.
Tomorrow you'll hear how the BTB has to offer financial incentive for airlines to fly to Belize. But finally, from tourism tonight, we did ask today's panel of tourism experts about the absence of international fast food franchises in Belize. It's a story we've covered before, and those experts say it works in Belize's favor. Tillett discussed why it is important that we remain authentic and why we won't be seeing any McDonald's franchises pop up anytime soon.
In my opinion, that melting pot creates a fusion in the food that we prepare that is a taste like no other on the planet. And so it's so damn good that you don't need no McDonald's, you don't need no Burger King, you don't need none of those things in Belize. And it don't inhibit what we do, because when people come to this country, they love with food. Fried jack, meat pie, tacos, I left it there.
I think what differentiates us tourism-wise from many of the other countries is that exact thing, that you don't find those fast food entities within the country. And people that come here are able to explore the culinary aspects of what we have. I think that is what we have boasted whenever we market Belize, you know, the uniqueness of it, the uniqueness of going to Kikok and not finding cars, only golf carts and bicycles. You know, those things are what makes us different and helps us to sell the tourism product and makes us and place us in a unique selling point. So I think, to me, I don't believe that fast food is necessary for us to push the industry.
And that's it for the tourism talk. We take a break now. When we come back, you'll hear what CEO Chester has to say about the bulletproof vehicle, and we'll show you Belize's new flour mill in Carmelita. They say they will produce flour cheaper even than their Mexican competitors. Don't go away.
This newscast is brought to you by Cellular World, your authorized Samsung distributor.
These charter mints aren't from
We're
an
navigating
airplane.
along the coastline.
This morning, the
Northern
2023.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm Sherry Kelso, and here's what's ahead for you on 7 News Tonight. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight. Good evening. With your news, I'm Linda Craig.
Please, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Driving around, particularly during this holiday season, can be quite an experience. Families are out shopping and the streets are buzzing with excitement. It reminds me that this season is all about connections, and it starts with how we treat each other, even on the road. When I'm behind the wheel, I always remind myself that being on the road is more than just following the rules. It's about looking out for each other and making sure we all get home safely to our families. This season, let's continue to be alert and be kind on the road. Be courteous, give way, and stay safe. A message from BEL.
What made me want to start my journey in terms of owning a home was basically me having my own space, my own domain, and having something extremely special for my family. That feeling was indescribable. It was amazing, you know, moving in the first time, seeing all the new furniture, the new paint, the new accessories. I was amazed. Home for the holidays means to me bonding with my family, having an amazing time in the Christmas spirit. I would highly recommend Atlantic Bank's personal loans for home renovations because of what it did for me. I fixed my kitchen, I fixed my storage, I fixed my master bedroom, my showers, you name it, I fixed it.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Hey, 06 para mañana.
89-23.
16. Ya gané con el 10, con el 50 y con el 03.
Bolido ahora es más fácil. Ahora puedes jugar tu número de la suerte con Digi Wallet. Regístrate y deposita para comenzar. Descarga la aplicación de Bolido y elige Digi Wallet como tu método de pago y cobro.
¡Ya gané!
Cuando enviamos dinero.
Con Bolido gané.
Cuando hacemos recargas.
Belize, it's a new day for the United Democratic Party. On Sunday, November 30th, join us at Birds Isle in Belize City for our national convention, a day of unity, renewal, and hope for our great UDP family. Come be part of history as we elect new executive leaders, discuss the future of our movement, and celebrate together with food, drinks, and great company. Together we move forward, stronger, united, full of hope. See you at Birdseye, Sunday, November 30th.
Un grupo de gente que hemos trabajado muy duro y la tierra es para la gente de Bellavista. ¿Para qué? Para que los jóvenes puedan tener tierra. ¿Para qué? Para que los jóvenes puedan desarrollarse en el futuro. Algo que les hacía falta por mucho tiempo. Nuestros padres vienen de las fincas bananeras. Somos gentes que hemos sufrido mucho y ustedes como jóvenes se merecen mejores oportunidades.
If you didn't have land before, you will have land now. Once you have land, you have wealth.
I think they want to build, they want to settle.
I'm already having dreams of my home and everything.
You know, the words are just, I'm really excited. I'm really happy. I can finally begin to build a house.
It's just a great feeling, you know.
Mi amigo es un hermano, una persona para el pobre. ¿Estamos de acuerdo?
Welcome to the V Department Store. We are conveniently located on Coney Drive in Belize City. That's right on Coney Drive in Belize City. At the V Department Store, we offer a wide variety of groceries, cosmetics, kitchen appliances, kitchenware, electronics, and more. We've also recently expanded to the second floor to better meet your household and office furniture needs. We now have a wide variety of furniture, home decor, and accessories. We have a shared vision for a comfortable and customer-friendly shopping experience. Visit us today and be warmly greeted by our reasonable prices and cordial staff. The V Department Store. Experience the ultimate shopping destination.
Wake up to positivity and inspiration. It's a fresh and diverse twist on your mornings. Tune in to Sun Up on 7 every weekday morning at 6:30 a.m. right here on your nation station, Channel 7. It's the morning show you don't want to miss.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
The Social Security Board held a media mixer today where they highlighted their performances and laid out their plans for modernization. Currently, SSB is transitioning to an online platform where contributors will be able to conduct their business from your device. The CEO told us more about the progress that's been made over the past year.
It is a part of our strategic priority for active engagement, not just with the media, but with stakeholders. I think as we move forward with the development in the scheme, we will have to engage and get feedback. We have to understand what are the challenges. When we are dealing with the administration and operations, we may be looking and seeing at it from one perspective. When we discuss with stakeholders like the media, we will gain a different perspective. So it is important that we have these type of engagement. It is a part of our accountability and transparency as well as we continue to strive to make sure we pass on information.
You mentioned that there was a meeting just like this last year around the same time. How has SSB progressed from then until now?
Well, there are several advancements that we've made. We've taken, for example, under consideration for the items to be presented today to include things like the investment portfolio that was highlighted the last time around. So we were quite deliberate in that way. From last year to now, you've seen that we've launched several portal features, and those are definitely in the public domain for people to access, for them to engage with us. So we've launched that. We have other things that are then upcoming in terms of like our app. That's something that people can expect within the next few months that we will roll out. So from last year to now, the engagement, we've considered the feedback that we got, but we've also quite intentionally launched things in the portal like the online sickness submission that people are now utilizing.
How receptive is the public to this new modernization of SSB?
Well, I think it has to be online, but it has to be at a pace that people can appreciate. You will notice that we made the launch for the online sickness at the end of January thereabouts. And we did a soft launch for the same reason. We had to sensitize, we had to work with people. Internally, there may have been kinks that we had to address. So we did it in a pace that we thought was gradual, that met people where they were at. And the reception so far has been encouraging, where most people have begun utilizing it. We've had significant increase in portal sign up and just access. So that has been a push in the right direction.
SSB is also looking at more investments moving forward in order to keep the fund growing. These investments undergo a rigorous process before they are embarked on. And according to Palma, the opportunities will continue to grow once they keep maximizing on them.
Well, with respect to investments, I think there are a couple of things that we must look at. We must look at the reserves itself growing, and therefore the opportunities that we have to capitalize on will actually increase. There are opportunities that we may create through development of programs that we have, or DLM building is one, for example, that we created. And then there are opportunities that may come our ways. There may be opportunities that municipalities develop bonds that we may wish to partake in. Entities that are legitimate may wish to borrow from the scheme that we have to work with. So those are opportunities that we anticipate will continue to come. With any economy, as the economy grows, there will be a need for investment. So for us, the due diligence has to take place. It has to be both us capitalizing of those opportunities that may come our way, that are secure, that make sense for the fund, and us being creative to see what are practical things that can be safe, secure, reliable, and generate a consistent return over time.
While not all services are online as yet, the two that are upcoming are funeral grants and maternity benefits. The public hearings on Guatemala's application for permission to intervene in the case concerning sovereignty over the Zapadilla Keys continue today at The Hague in the Netherlands. Today, all sides made their second and final round of arguments on whether Guatemala should be granted permission to intervene in the case concerning sovereignty over the Zapadilla Keys between Belize and Honduras. Belize has supported their right to intervene, while Honduras has not. Today, Belize's attorney, Ben Juratowicz, said that Guatemala did not establish a legitimate reason to intervene.
The court has Belize's submissions on the 4 notes verbale that Guatemala was able to mention on Monday. And this morning, we heard no reply on those. We also, more importantly, heard nothing about any other document that Guatemala might have that it would wish to place before the court in this case to inform the court and protect Guatemala's interests. The court does not deal in generalities. It deals in facts and law. And Guatemala has not indicated, with even the bare minimum of specificity, any of either that it would contribute to the present case. The court was instead told this morning, as it was on Monday, that it is just obvious that Guatemala should be permitted to intervene because the 3 states claim the same territory. Guatemala was absolutely right that the present case does not change anything in respect of Guatemala's claim against Belize. And Guatemala confirmed this morning that it makes no claims of sovereignty against Honduras. That rather leaves one wondering why exactly Guatemala wishes to intervene in this case and what exactly it would do in concrete terms if it were permitted to do so. Guatemala has not answered those questions with any degree of specificity. Guatemala has the burden of satisfying the court that the court should permit its application. Having listened to Guatemala over the course of this hearing, it is not at all obvious that Guatemala has satisfied that burden.
The oral proceedings have now ended and the court has now retired for deliberations. Early in the news, you heard the Prime Minister speak about a bulletproof vehicle in the Corozal-free zone as if it is no big deal. Today, the CEO in the Ministry of Transport and former Commissioner of Police said that there's no law to stop it.
When it comes to the issuance of temporary permits for vehicles that comes into the country, those permits are not issued by the Department of Transport nor with the authorization of the Department of Transport. Those permits are issued by the custom authorities at the different border points. They are normally issued for 1 month in the first instance, so it's an option for renewal. So at the expiration of the 1 month, then they can go back to customs and seek extension to renew. If the owner of the vehicle or whoever imports the vehicle into the country wishes to keep the vehicle in the country for an extended period of time, then they will have to visit the Department of Transport and apply to have the vehicle registered in Belize, at which point the Department of Transport will register the vehicle and assign the vehicle a license plate number. So in respect to this particular vehicle that you're speaking of, that vehicle is not in the country on the authorization of the Department of Transport. As I said earlier, it's a matter that would normally be dealt with via customs and not our department. Thank you. I must say that there is nothing in law to prohibit a person from importing or using a bulletproof vehicle in Belize. There is nothing in law to prohibit that.
We stress that based on what the Commissioner and the officer in charge of the customs station in the north told us, that they did not authorize the temporary permit, yet it says they did. That TP remains very irregular. Caribbean Organic Foodstuff, the sister company of the Caribbean International Brewery that makes Mayan beer, is embarking on their latest product, Belizean-made flour. Manna flour is made right at their factory in Carmelita. The flour mill officially opened today, and the PM headed right over after his flight landed in Belize. But before he left for Orange Walk, we asked him what this new mill means for the country.
I think it's something great. It shows that there's continued confidence in the Belizean economy, and that we're opening up a flour company. As what I'm told is that Belize Flour Mill imports the flour from Guyana, and there's a company in the Orange district that is bringing in the wheat and milling, grinding the wheat to be able to provide flour for Belizeans.
We'll get to the point of exporting our flour.
Well, that's the plan. They're saying that's not what they want to do. They want to be able to produce in large numbers. I have visited the plant maybe about 2 months ago. I was quite impressed. It's state of the art. It's a huge operation that they have. So their aim is to be able to export the flour into the Caribbean market.
But will this new locally made flour mean the end of the importation of boila roja in the north? The PM says it could.
I think what is happening is that, if I remember right, I don't have all the details, but I think there was some issue with the bakers when to bake. That's what if I could vaguely remember back then. But now that we have another company producing here, and provided that the flour meets the standards, and therefore I'm told that they're producing good flour, and so pretty more maybe sooner than later we'll stop the importation so that you can either buy from Orange Rock, from the flour mill in Orange Rock, or from what's being imported through CARICOM, because it's being imported from Guyana.
And at the opening of the mill this afternoon in Carmelita, the communications director spoke more about their capacities and the type of flour they produce.
The flour mill behind us was planned and designed in the first half of 2025, and it took nearly 10 months to install and commission. So what we have now is a fully operational flour mill. It's a modern flour production facility with advanced, reliable technology. We produce high quality flour. Now, to increase employment opportunities for the people in the north, what the directors decided was to obtain semi-automated or not fully automated systems, so that you can create opportunities, for employment. Because with the technology we have now, we have fully automated. You don't need barely any kind of employment. But that was not the idea here. So now, at full capacity, this mill can produce 150 tons of flour per hour. Sorry, per day. It's 150 tons per day. And it is more than enough that is needed for the consumption in Belize. And we can also supply the export market as well. So that is what we have behind us for the time being. Grand opening today. We have had some significant market penetration. Just in the beginning of this month, we shipped to Belize 7,500 metric tons of wheat through the port of Big Creek. And that will allow us to supply a nice amount of the market. So we are penetrating the market. It is being received very well. We produce two types of flour. One is an all-purpose flour. Next one is an enriched baker's flour.
Yesterday, you saw the march for 16 days of activism, and this morning, the Leadership Intervention Unit held an early morning run to galvanize public support and raise awareness about this issue. Andrew Dawson explained that the LIU engages an important constituency.
We're having our run walk in observance of the 16 days of activism. Of course, LIU feels like we need to do our part, working with a lot of the young men within these communities to highlight the importance of ending domestic violence, and as the team say, ending digital violence against our women and girls. So LIU feel like it's important for us to get some of our community leaders and our young men, and of course the staff and other partners involved in this activity to highlight the importance of ending domestic violence against women and girls within Belize City and Belize and overall in the world. And of course, the main message we want to send to the community is, of course, uniting and coming together and fighting this cause to end domestic violence and to stem that root cause as it relates to the communities and Belize City on our whole.
And finally tonight, a groundbreaking ceremony was held today in the village of San Narciso for a new police station. It's not what we would call big news, but it is the first media appearance of the Commissioner of Police in 94 days. Of course, the independent media was not invited, so he spoke to the press office. Here's what he and others had to say about this new police station.
This is just one of many more to come. The Belize Police Department is a growing institution, and we have to meet the needs of the security of our country. This is just part of that program. Today is very significant here in San Narciso. This police station is going to benefit not only San Narciso village, but the surrounding villages as well. That's over 40,000 residents. So the services from this police station is going to be made available to over 40,000 residents, both of San Narciso and the surrounding villages.
The security of my people is very important to me. And we're not saying that our people are bad people, no, but we have people that come, that migrate from other countries, and they come with a different mentality that we have. And that's why we need that type of security here in my constituency.
The opening of the San Narciso police station will improve service delivery to San Narciso community, San Victor, and Santa Clara. And it is part of the Belize Police Department's strategic objective in enhancing or strengthening our operational capability, improving our response time, and expanding the police services to the different rural communities.
The Belize $929,000 facility will span more than 3,000 square feet. And that ends our newscast for tonight. Thanks for watching with your news. I'm Indra Craig. Remember, you can find a full transcript of the news at 7newsbelize.com and see the streaming video on our Facebook or YouTube pages. Have a pleasant evening. Join Miriam Abdul-Kawi here tomorrow sitting in, and I'll be back on Friday. Have a great one.